About D&D.
D&D, all right. D&D. You guys could all leave. We're just gonna
Dungeons
talk
and
about it.
Decepticons.
What up, man? That's it?
That was your
I was
question.
going to ask if you have any good D&D stories.
If you have any good D&D stories?
Oh boy.
Oh, jeez. You seriously want to hear this?
Oh, good night, everybody.
I feel like we should take a show of hands or something if you want me to wax on about this. I'll tell you about my... Oh, boy. All right, so when I was 13 years old, before that, I could never afford the books myself, or when AD&D came out. So we would get marble notebooks and make up our own rules and draw pictures and take photographs of the Time Life fantasy Enchanted World books and make our own crap. Yep. When we could finally afford the books, meaning when I met kids in freshman year of high school who could afford the books and I read theirs, 13-year-old kid making my own character, and I was going to make the most awesome thing ever, something that made sense for a 13-year-old, and he was part every single dragon, beholder, Umber Hulk, anything you can imagine, and he had 4 arms and looked like he was drawn by Sam Keith and big tusks and leathery wings, and my DM, my new friend Mike Burke, hello wherever you are in the world, he's the head of philosophy at St. Joseph's College now, which most DMs probably end up doing. And he's like, okay, fine, we'll let you do it, roll up your character. Highest roll was a 12 out of 18. I didn't have the strength to support the mass of this body that I'd created. So it's like, you're polymorphed into an elf. And the worst part about that is I thought it would be really awesome to have this big giant monster. What was he? He was a bard who invented the electric guitar. So I ended up being a tiny little slight elf with a lute in my first game. And I still play that character today. There you go. There's a D&D story.
That was a good story.
13-year-old Frank's logic. You guys have D&D stories?
No, I don't.
Sure don't. I mean, I do play D&D, but I don't quite make 80s album cover characters, so which clearly is my own fault because that was amazing.
His name was Pax, by the way. It was a little pop there. Pax, which is peace in Latin. Which is ironic because he looked so evil.
I guess my only D&D story, I guess, is the one where I was working on Geek and Sundry, and it was literally like my character that they created because they knew what I was doing. They're like, we want you to give us a list of all the voices you can do. I'm like, that's not fair. Like, I know, because I mean, like, I do so many freaking sound effects. I don't even know who all I do. I don't even know who half the guys I'm doing their voices for, who they are, like, most of the time. Because they're like, hey, can you send this back in 5 minutes? I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, all right. I'll look him up later. Oh yeah, that's the guy that's in that thing. Okay. So I'm like, how about I just do the ones that are, like, the best ones that I do? So I gave him, like, a much shorter list. So he created this character that literally, every time he rolls less than 10, I have to change into another character.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's actually really fun.
That is a super fun device for a voice actor.
By the time I got to Samuel L. Jackson, we were in the part of the game where he was like, okay, what is your next move? I was like, I'm going to throw something that's going to explode behind me in cool slow motion as I slowly walk away. And he's like, you got a 3. I was like, I tripped on my butt and got badly burned. Like,
the magic of D&D.
I was like, that would be such a cool moment, like that movie moment. I was like, and I had another one where I was like, I say an awesome one-liner. He's like, 2. I'm like, I'd say a terrible one-liner that nobody gets.
There's silence and a single cough.